Okay, hello everyone. Yeah, we'll meet again on our materials in CTA. Yeah, entitled Feminist Stylistics. Yeah, by Sarah Mills. After knowing about basic understanding in discourse, what is discourse? Then why we need to think about discourse critically, right? Then we got several expert in discourse, yeah. Started previously with uh, we have June Van Dyke, then we have Roger Fowler, and now we have Sarah Mills. We will have also others, yeah, like Van Leeuwen, Norman Fairclough, and others. Yeah, so don't worry, yeah, you can get so many experts related about CTA approach, yeah, in what point of view of CTA scene. Okay, from the title, yeah, you can guess why Sarah Mills comes with feminist. Yeah, uh, we'll go from this media sample. You can pause this video, and you can read, you can see these four media headline samples. Yeah, Bengal woman gang raped by six, hammered to death. Mother of three now sites on Tokyo 2020. 2,300 school girl conceived, blah blah blah. Married off during lockdown. Trafficked and raped. 80 years old triple girl 2 months pregnant. Nah, you can pause and you can think first. What happened? What kind of point of view that media has, yeah, from those samples? You can relate it with gender. You can relate it with gender inequality. What happens? Yeah. So far, if we see these samples, yeah, uh, we can go that media, yeah, sometimes create with because we are from English language department, we see the CTA, yeah, that's focusing on the language used. The media used language that create positions of the females, of women, yeah, that's different with men. Yeah, sometimes they make women as the focus. Yeah, for example, this one, if we have some negative news, yeah, the victim is the main focus, not the doer. Yeah, not who is the rapper, but who is being raped. Then, for example, when they have, if the woman, yeah, here in this context, yeah, they have some achievement, won, yeah, something here on Tokyo 2022, 2020. The media bring other additional informations about being a mother, sometimes mother of three, that he is not virgin yet. He is already mother, and so on. Yeah. Then you can discuss other samples, yeah, outside of this sample. Yeah. By showing this phenomena, yeah, Sarah Mills, yeah, who's a professor, yeah, in linguistics at Sheffield University, England, yeah. Uh, she has interest, yeah, in comparison within linguistic forms, yeah, of expression. We can read here, yeah, in different languages, but particularly, yeah, his major work area is feminisms. Yeah, he create some uh, what's that? research focus ya on the discourse of feminism because of that previous slide's reality. Yeah. Mm, she portrayed she looked at the media that portrayed this one woman, which is shown, yeah, whether yeah from the language side, yeah, whether this is uh, semantically or previously precededly from symbols, yeah, this is text, yeah, through novels, pictures, photos, or news, yeah. Injustice, there is uh, highlight injustice and bad image of women in news text. Ah, if you wanna have research related with media, language using media that has injustice image, framing, or so on, yeah, power behind it, but related with females, you can use Sarah Mills approach because her focus, her approach is matters, yeah, if we talk about feminism. So, according to Sarah Mills, yeah, men and women limit their expressions and sense according to the social construction that mass media have constructed about how to act to their specific gender roles. As you can see that the classical gender roles, yeah, that females always do, they do the daily chores, yeah, the girls, yeah, has their jobs in the kitchen with uh, her daughter, her son, carrying a baby, and so on. Cook, swap, yeah, daily chore. Then males, gender roles is more prestige, yeah, prestigious one. Work, collecting, or having a lot of money, so on. Yeah. So that gender roles in the classical roles puts media, yeah, that the reader can have their focus, still focus on the classical gender roles, that woman is in the lower position, always false, always wrong, and so on, and so on, and so on, yeah. Then that's why, yeah, society puts massive expectation for a woman to be ideal. That's why. Uh, there are also forced pressures, yeah, to a woman. Uh, because of this gender inequality. So if once again the women have their classical roles, it's also like for me personally, yeah, it's like a knife that has two sides. Yeah, you need to be perfect. You can do anything because of our modernization. Yeah, because of your what is that? You you fight for gender justice role. Yeah, to what's that? Break that injustice rules. That's why that can be a pressures too. Yeah, yeah. That's just a bit what's that consideration? Yeah, for all of us. Then the ideality of woman is being physically perfect. Always careful and dependent on a man. That's why is we talk about this one. Yeah, woman, the beautiful woman is like this, is like that. That's media that create that personifications, that visualizations, that image, that framing. Yeah, so you need to be careful about it. Nah, uh, in Sarah Mills, yeah, started from 1995. She talked about how women are oppressed in text. Yeah, so women, once again, we talk about the previous discussion, the women are weak. Ya. So the feminist stylistics focuses on how sexist language occur in a text and pay attention to power, metaphor, transitivity, and point of view. That's also developed by Sarah Mills. Yeah. Women are usually portrayed in the same role and discourse that are vulnerable and weak. Yeah. The theory of feminist stylistic has three levels of analysis. Later on, yeah, we will discuss about these three levels of analysis nanti setelah ini. Nah, Sarah Mills bring his, sorry, her, this is general so yeah, her framework about CDA, yeah. Uh, the linguistic form of expression in different languages, yeah, especially about politeness. She is majoring in feminisms and also, yeah, of course, about critical discourse analysis and have a relation with politeness. Sarah Mills, yeah, focus her attentions on discourse of feminisms once again, how women are shown in the text through that's one, so many, yeah, novel, picture, photos, yeah. This one, you can see the author, the position, yeah, the text, the reader, and the context. How the context, yeah, can create the author to show the woman from their perceptions and it will influence the reader. Nah, in the level discourse in Sarah Mills, they have three levels, yeah, that we will discuss one by one, deeply, slowly. Yeah. First, words level. The second one, sentence levels. The third one, discourse level. Nah, one by one ya. The word levels. Uh, Sarah Mills ya state that in this word level, yeah, a feminist stylistic focus on how sexism happens in language and how it affects, yeah, like that one, the readers, yeah, especially females, yeah, by examining how much sex-specific pronouns use, addressing term use, the misuse of the generics, and the negative descriptions of women. Yeah, that's why the first thing to focus in a on a general and theoretical aspect of sexism, yeah, and generic usage. Then there are comes to some particular types of sexist language, yeah, in the word level, like this categorization. We have sexism in language, yeah, sexism in language and sexism and meaning, both of them. Word level consists of sexism in language and sexism and meaning. What is sexism of word level related with sexism in language? Yeah, there are linguistic determinism, generic pronouns, generic nouns, yeah, woman as the mark form, effects of sexist language use, and so on. Now, if we talk about sexism in language, yeah, uh, the other expert, yeah, instead of Sarah Mills, yeah, Mary Vetterling Bragin, yeah, describes sexism in language as when a statement affects, yeah, affects, cause, and motivates of the operations of women. Ya, tadi ada banyak sexism language itu ketika ada pernyataan yang mempengaruhi, menyebabkan ya, dan memotivasi, memunculkan ya operation of women. Then Mary Fetterly she enlarged the definition into yeah, this one statement that supports, constitutes, and contributes to an irrelevant or an unfair injustice. Yeah, we can call like that. Yeah, between the genders. Ya, artinya nanti juga kalau sebenarnya tidak imbang ya kalau nanti terbalik. Yang penting tidak imbangnya ya, tidak harus wanita, tapi karena in the current reality mostly is the woman that is being oppressed. But if you find so far injustice between gender and then the one who is being oppressed is the male, yeah, you can also use this theory too, yeah, but especially for women, yeah. When in the this, yeah, consists of we can have linguistic determinisms first, yeah. The linguistic determinisms itu apa ya? Propose that uh, having different language structure indicate differences in how society views the world. Atau dengan kata lain, in other words, ya, spoken language affect the speaker's understanding of the word. Nah, this claims to our perception the word is made by language. Jadi kayak dua-duanya saling mempengaruhi ya, reciprocal. Oke, jadi uh, in the linguistic determinisms ya, penentu. Bahasa itu sebagai penentunya di situ ada. Dan talk about generic pronouns ya. In the generic pronouns ya, we have that people usually karena generic ya, addresses man as a generic noun. Dan as misalnya nih, for example, mankind. Kenapa kok female kind? Ya, gitu. Workman, banyak lagi. Especially in English, which is there are so many languages that we can have it as a samples, but currently we'll have English as the sample. For example, police officer, yeah, that's general, but somehow the writer, some right policeman, fire fighter with fireman, something like that. That's a generic nouns that will make it bias, yeah, for gender inequality. Then the other one, yeah, generic pronouns, generic pronouns tuh yang he, she, it, gitu ya. Misalnya jadi he, tapi kalau generic nouns yang tadi itu ya, yang police officer, policeman, artinya firefighter, fireman. If generic pronouns ya, when we call a representative of people with he, not by he or she. Nah, gimana baiknya Pak? Oh, ya, to make it fair ya. If we don't know about the context, we can use both. Ya. He or she can get over here, I mean, for example, like that. Or they can, you can use it. Avoid using one gender. It will be biased. Okay, then the last, not the last, yeah. The fourth is woman as the mark form. Yeah. In many forms, yeah, women often got affixes. Yes, to address them. Contohnya apa? For example, lady, ya, then blah blah us, ya, iti, ini, treats, ya. This affixes, ya, also mean that men didn't need such affixes to indicate them. Jadi, wah, kenapa kok hanya woman as the mark form? Ya, there are some examples. For example, kenapa yang pertama yang natural aja itu untuk men, lalu untuk tambahan seperti it's like secondary ya, like actress, hostess, stewardess, ya. Kenapa steward? Kenapa nggak yang steward itu nggak yang females ya? Lalu ya ada mark man gitu kan, misalnya steward man, steward girl atau for example ya, nose. Nah, but that's not the reality ya. The reality is woman as the mark word, mark form. Then however, some theories thought this could be women's presence yeah, in the society. This also okay. Then the last in this one, yeah, the effects of sexist language use. Yeah, the effects of sexist language use. Yeah, we can say this. Uh, the use of sexist language ya and the sexism in language itu misalnya has some effects ya effects one of them uh, is that if uh, it could make women feel different, yeah, and not to be mentioned, then they would stereotypes and negatively look at themselves, also making the standard of women should and shouldn't do in the society. Yeah, this is the effect. Then the last, it could be more apparent to us, yeah, to the reader or listeners, whether the speaker use gender free or gender specific language. Yeah, itu that will cause the effect. That what Sarah Mills brought to us about effects of sexist language use. Then the other one about level is sexism and meaning. Yeah, we have naming and androcentrisms, the semantic derogations of women, yeah, endearments and diminutive female experience. Get that cause euphemisms and taboo. We have also lexical gaps, yeah, male point of view. Gitu kan. There are so many, yeah. In sexism and meaning, ya, race issues concerning karena harus dikaitkan dengan makna juga meaning. Specifically, how meanings may be gender specific. Ya, sexism, meaning focus only explaining language pattern that appear to decide that words linked with the gender, ya, may carry on specific sort of meanings, ya, such manner that phrases connected with females, yeah, will take on a variety of clearly recognized implications. Yeah. One by one for naming and endocentrisms, misalnya. Yeah, yeah, this is big issues, yeah, in feminism. Yeah, women would lose their surnames after they got married. Yeah, we talk about Western. Mostly, yeah, about Western culture because English is from Western culture. They would replace it with their husband's surname. Yeah, this is about naming and androcentrisms related with sexism and meaning. How's the woman uh, existence in the name itself reduced? Yeah, it would seem like a middle name even if they want to keep their surnames. Yeah. Yeah, after marriage, yeah, females would be addressed as Mrs. Ya, from Miss. Nah, kenapa kok yang Mister tetap? Mister kok nggak Mister or what is? Nah, these titles are contradicting to males. Ya, they will use the same Misters, ya, regardless of their marital status. Have you ever think about that? Nah, Sarah Mills make a highlight about it. The female even could be discredited for the name and addressed only as his husband wife. Mungkin yang disebut namanya jadi nama suaminya. Ya. Kadang di Indonesia juga seperti itu. In Eastern culture. Yeah. Then the second one is the semantics derogations of woman. Yeah. Yeah, in English, various opposing pair terms specific to genders, yeah, whether male and female. So, but however, the female word has developed a connotative interpretation spread from its pair. Yeah. For example, yeah, in Mr. Master, yeah, and mistress. Yeah. Well, master means, if we find it in dictionary, yeah, robust or controlling holding man. Yeah. The mistress can be interpreted as the second woman who had an affair with other woman's husband. You can see the educations of women. The masculine term traditionally leads the numerous binary words because this aspect that appear first in English are often seen as the necessary information processing. Nah, itu ya, feminine and masculine. Nah, if the words man and wife are interfered to wife and man, coba. The cohesive of the sentence is destroyed. Nah, itu. Then we talk about another one is endearments and diminutive. Endearment and diminutive itu ya, it comes no surprise that insulting phrases ya will be demeaning. Misalnya apa? Men often address women ya with apa? In insulting ya, related with endearment and diminutive. Chick misalnya ya. Negatif, create a negative image or not? Yes. doll, sugar, uh, etc. Yeah, somehow. Yeah. It may seems like endearments, but actually it compares women with some object. This case rarely happen. You can find so many other phrases yeah that commonly to females than male yeah creating in equal patriarchal power dynamics ya itu karena patriarchy yang kalau ya because language are influenced by culture ya if the culture is patriarchal culture so the language that represent the cultures also will create those word phrase blah 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 that reflects the domination of the culture of the men of the males the patriarchal system. Then the next is female experience. In sexism and meanings ya. Euphemism and taboo ya. Ini ngambil dari the other expert tuh ya. Roger Fowler ya Fowler defines euphemisms ya is employing uh, as a soft, ambiguous, and periparistic ya terms. So if you say it in feminisms ya maybe we talk about the famous euphemisms of women for about menstruations. Menstruation is often called red flag for the wrong time of a month. People who consider menstruation taboo and use euphemisms to talk about it. Yeah, that's. Then the next one is the lexical gaps. Yeah, the lexical gaps. Male point of view. Now, from the male point of view, this one. Feminism history is littered with examples of women who couldn't articulate feelings in existing vocabulary. Yeah. There are many terms for women yeah, to express themselves and their experiences. Karena ini from their point of view, right? That for sexual activity, for people that do not indicate a male point of view. Now, many females felt that their issues were unique because no expression in the language indicate that this was widespread issues. Nah, kadang itu semua dipandang ya from a male point of view. There is a lexical gaps. Okay, that's about the word levels. Then the next is about sentence phrase levels. Yeah, we have ready-made phrase, presupposition and inference, metaphor, jokes and humor, transitivity, choice, feminisms, and ideology. Ya, in of course that word sekarang sentence phrase level ya know about it. Words only make meaning regarded with their context and context ya. Kalau but if phrase and sentence create meaning in connection to their context, history of usage, and background informations required ya for the comprehension. Nah, creating meaning frequently entails like in the semantic ya a process of meaning production. Yeah, that's why it's different in the sentence and phrase that could be more approachable at the literal individual ya at the words level ya. Nah, ready-made phrase. Di sentence phrase level itu ada ready-made phrase. Some sentences are prefabricated, then contains uh, sorry, sexist implications. Yeah, those sentences are the situation with proverb that include sexist meaning. Yeah, the sexist proverb once again, who utters the sentence do not manufacture it, tapi apa? But merely draw one pre-existing information. Nah, which is regarded as a true personality. Uh, Many proverb, yeah, is hard to cope with the utter conversation. They include ideological implications, yeah, for which the we can call it the interlocutor is unlikely to accept accountability, which is very hard to convey. Nah, and then the other we have presuppositions and inference, ya, semantik banget ya ini ya. The interpretations ya of the sentence should be understood using a criteria apart from the basic meaning of the word that comprise them. Nah, only by that ideological context and can sentences be interpreted. Nah, the other one is metaphor ya. In metaphor, according to Lakoff and Johnson, metaphor is critically ya. We can say in sentence ya, is a critical in organizing our ideas and language. You can see that metaphor is one of many pillars yeah, of our thought ya, either at the level of language or language learning. Nah, itu ya. Metaphor for males ya, for example, usually compared to some animals about their habitual traits that are bad, but that's considered normal for men. Yeah, sadly like that. Yeah, that's about that one. Nah, on the other hand, kalau di lain pihak gimana? Metaphor related to women compared to some animals. Tapi ini bedanya that are comparing their looks, their physical appearance, the personality that's create negative thing, not the normal one. That's the difference. Yeah. Then in sentence phrase level, it's also jokes and humor. Yeah, in a Sarah Mills uh, points. Yeah. The field of humor is complicated. Ya, kalau saya sering bilang dulu kalau di speech atau apa memang jokes ya humor itu butuh level tinggi ya. Di sini juga complicated ya in sexisms ya. Uh, if in the the level of words we cannot judge it easily ya. We need to bring it into sentence and phrase level ya. Sexisms ya may be camouflage as humor. The audience may inadvertently contribute ya hahaha ya to maintaining the sexisms encoded in the text or he or she laugh at the humor ya menertawakan ketidakadilan itu sendiri ya. Some people who make sexist jokes frequently ya retort using it's only joke ya when confronted about their sexist joke. Nah itu ya. Here ya pernah tapi jarang ya. Women are rarely ya are the producer of the joke itself ya. Instead they would be the actress or object of the joke. Ya. In some data ya, that's the reality. Then the next is transitivity choice ya, transitivity choice. Ini what do you remember about transitivity? Pernah dengar? Have you ever heard about this? If you remember Halliday, yeah, if you read book about Halliday, yeah, transitivity is the collection of possibilities via which the narrator organize the internal universe of his awareness and his knowledge of the process. Nah, saya sendiri itu tadi menggunakan sex language, his, kan. Padahal he or his or her, bla bla bla, gitu. Kalau they, ya. Nah, transitivity itu contains a fundamental difference activities into short, those expected to the external factors, and I can see the set of persons, or other than that. Yeah, there are several options, everyone. Yeah, available when we talk about transitivity. Yeah, materials, apa? Mental, satunya relational. Materials, mental, relations. You can read more about it, yeah. Yeah, and that three things, yeah, focuses that what kinds of act exist in the text, yeah, who performs them, and for whom they are performed. Yeah, broad contrast yeah between aware agents viewed as entities capable of thinking, yeah, then communications, plan, acts, and many more. Yeah. Nah, by analyzing the transitive choice, yeah, we make us, yeah, as the learner, yeah, broader general conclusions about how characters see their place in the world and their relationship with others. Itu, that's the key. Nah, that's also influenced the feminisms. Yeah. The last is feminisms and ideology. Yeah. Of course, this is related with sociolinguistic too. Ya, sexist language and others itu ada kaitan dengan sociolinguistic. Ya. In society, there are variety ideologies regarding females that do not match with the truth of females' existence. Nah, ini. These ideologies are merely imposed on females. Yeah. Instead, they are actively participated in by females who acquire and checks them based on their interest and value. Yeah, that's the feminisms and ideology. Then the last, after the word levels, sentence and phrase levels, we have discourse levels. Yeah, in the discourse level, yeah, through its textual pattern and structure, the feminist stylistic in the level of discourse connect word, phrase, tadi with larger part of an ideology. Yeah, here Sarah Mills called namanya gendered framework because they have to function to stereotypical levels to analyze the language typical used in a text. Sarah Mills went from analyzing the language choice used to describe the characters in the text and then the roles that female can fill. After that, analyze the several language choice to understand the descriptions of the fragmentation of the female body. Itu ya, lalu membentuk skemata about the woman, how the woman's roles are allocated in many text ya. Makanya ini masuk dalam characterizations and role, then we have fragmentation, vocalization, and schemata ya. Nah, dari characterization and role tadi sudah banyak ya, sudah jelaskan dengan ideologi juga ya. Nah, the ideology message created the representation in the society, ya, in the society of how men and women are. Ya, women characters are usually described their appearance ya in matching the beauty standard in society, for example. Nah, kalau if we talk about fragmentations ya, the female body fragmentations ya, and the literally works has been attending since to significant effect on female ya. Ada satu itu in the first effect is that the female's body becomes objectified, depersonalized, and reduced to its part. Yeah. Then the second effect that female protagonist cannot focus on her perspective. Nah, therefore, the fragmentation of women characters is related to men focalizations representing a woman as objects to a man gaze. Okay, and then the last is vocalizations. Yeah, vocalization position depend on the story of degree of persistence. Nah, then vocalization can also be external or internal to the story or the discourse or the article itself. Ya, kalau kuncinya kalau di luar ya, ya external vocalization is regularly termed as narrator vocalized. If uh, in narrator vocalized ini yang eksternal itu narrator is the only source of information, the only vision, the only judgment to the text. Ya. Nah ini external vocalization itu bisa terjadi apa? Can happen when the point of view is delivered from the first person. Uh, Now, another one, if we talk about uh, the degree of this one, yeah, you can read more later on, yeah, because we have a limited of recording time, yeah. But by having this vocalizations meaning, yeah, it depends whether a vocalization is fixed in only one narrator or shows two dominant vocalization or shift as the text goes, ya itu progressing and changing. Ya. Nah, this vocalization should not be fixed only one character's point of view, but shift in the course of the text. Itu yang penting dalam seorang Mills ya. Jadi tidak boleh hanya dari satu sudut pandang. Karena apa? Karena vocalization can manipulate the sympathy of the reader of the text. Bahayanya nanti di sini. You need to aware of the danger of the vocalizations. Dan the last is the schemata. Nah, what is it? Ya, if you see schemata di John Van Dyke juga ada ya. The narrative scheme is simple ya, but it explain how we feel familiar when reading some new stories. Ya, ini kan considering deterministic, uh, predisposing to experience to fix interest by experience ya. Uh, this in schemata ya, some narrative, some description ya, shared specific ideas about women, especially in a romance narrative. We need to pay attention about the schema. Okay, that's all about Sarah Mills' point of view and approach of the critical discourse analysis, mostly about feminisms in critical discourse analysis, how the inequality happens in the media, in the writing, and we need to know about it. We need to break down to see the power behind of it. How is the society need to see about the gender equality itself in the good way. Yeah, that's right. Then I cited from G.D. Anderson as the closing. Yeah, that women are already strong. Yeah, all male is strong, woman is strong in many point of view, in many aspect. Yeah, because they have their own characteristic. We cannot make it same, but in their own aspect. Yeah, it's about changing the way the world perceives that strength. Ya, tinggal membawakannya gimana supaya dunia ini bisa melihat. Nah, butuh pemahaman yang kritis, critical discourse analysis to see the reality of it. Yeah, that's my closings about the critical discourse analysis materials. Yeah, thank you very much. Happy learning, happy watching. See you again the next. Goodbye.